Hi troops, hope you're all well. I'm just going to run through 4 or 5 images, recent images that I've taken with my Leica Q2 Monochrom, which I've only had for 4 or 5 weeks I think. As you can see in this image, this is a Dalmeny railway station, South Queens Ferry. I'm still learning this camera, learning the sensor, learning its idiosyncrasies. So I do know though that you can really delve deep into the shadows. So I picked this image out just to see how good that the capability is. So obviously we'll hit the shadows first. Just clear some of this stuff away. A bit smaller. So right, shadows. See what we've got here. Up the exposure a little. So the main focus I think of this image is the 2 women in the foreground here. Obviously one's just got off the train, getting met by their pals or whatever. You know what I also like is this female here on the train. She's watching me. And do we need to crop this in a little? I think so. Straighten it up as well. Maybe a bit auto. See how that goes. Doesn't look quite right. You got to bear in mind with a wide lens it distorts. So you just take it by eye, whatever looks the best I think. And we'll bring that in a little bit I think. .47 megapixels. I'm not scared to crop in. Nothing wrong with a bit cropping in. That's better. And the sky is a tad bright for my liking. We'll just try some basic highlight reduction. I don't want to bring too many highlights in the foreground. So we'll just we'll try a mask, sky mask. And we'll try a dehaze. Bring it down a little. That's a bit better. And it's a bright blue sky day. It's me and a blue sky, there's a cloud. See what exposure does? Yeah, that's not too bad, not too bad at all. Right, like I say, the main focus is on these characters in the foreground I think. It's not finding the people, they're too all mixed up here. We'll just get a brush. And feather that in a little bit. Women behind you are looking a wee bit emotional. Highlights a little bit. A wee bit on exposure. A wee bit on the whites maybe. Yeah. It's not bad. A bit of contrast. Like a bit of contrast. Yeah, I quite like that. And like I say, there's a female here. I'll lighten up the foreground a little. Bring up some of the detail in this tree. We'll probably shooting at f8, this is probably just a zone focus shot. clarity. There we go. That makes it pop a little. See, that's going too far. Bring it and dial it back a little bit. Yeah, about there I think. Right, overall highlights again now. Just see what a little bit of grain does. I'll use Jeff Askoff's preset here with the grain. Let you see some of the other silver chrome film curve, silver chrome punch. No, I don't think so. So looking at the grain, I like a lot of grain. This is maximum grain, probably a little bit too much, although I quite like it. Fast grain, whatever that means. No, right, I think probably medium grain. Yeah. So we'll see before and after. Yeah, I'm going to bring up another brush. Okay, just going to darken like a slight vignette from shadows a little bit there. More so up here I think. A little bit more. I always go quite hard in and then come back off a little bit. Right, I'm going to come back again. I'm going to come back into this brush. So a little bit of painting here. This female is looking a bit emotional. As for the rest of them, I think that'll do. Maybe, what do you think, down the cropping a little? Yeah, I quite like that. I quite like it, and it's fine by me. I quite like that one. Before and after. Right. Other ones. This was actually at my daughter's graduation a few weeks ago at Strathclyde University. We were seated by a guy. I took with me, obviously, the Leica. It's a 28mm fixed lens, and I took my XE1 Fujifilm with a 135 portrait lens. Now, I wasn't thinking, obviously the Fujifilm camera is a crop sensor, so that lens is effectively 200mm odd. So it was far too close to use that lens. I was seeing up people's nostrils, etc. Far too close, so using the Leica, and as we know with the Leica, there's plenty scope to crop in. Okay, 47 megapixels. I'm not too stuffy to admit I will crop in if the need arises. So here we go. I'm going to crop in here, and we'll still see how much detail this retains. That's my daughter just going up to get the cap on the head. There's a cap there. We'll try and catch this guy here, I think, and the next student to come up. Now that's my daughter, graduated as an architect. She's got a job already, but she was pretty apprehensive about this day. Now look at that, that's a raw image. Look at the detail on that. This doesn't need much work at all. We'll bring down the highlights a touch. What am I shooting this at? 1.7, yeah. 500th of a second. It was manual focus. Bring down the highlights a little, general highlights. There we go. Just up a tad in the shadows. Don't need much at all. Look at that. I would say the whites and the blacks are pretty perfect. There we go. Bang on just about. Blacks. Just a wee bit. I don't think we need to bother about that much. I'm going to get a simple brush. I'm going to brush in my daughter. I'm going to brush in old Rector or whatever he was. The main man. Should really remember his name. Just I think we need to reduce the highlights a little on the guy. Yeah, that's not bad. Up the shadows a little. Lights and the blacks. I don't need to do much at all with this, to be honest with you. Right, what I'm going to do is get another brush. I'm going to darken down these dudes that are in the two rows in front of us. We're obviously out of focus, show it at 1.7. Take some shadows out of them. Just take our eye away. This guy up there. There's a lovely old ex-church. This now belongs to Strathclyde Uni. Just bring all that in a little bit. Bring the focus in. And again, a little bit of grain. Medium, we'll try medium again. I think we can maybe go a bit harder with the grain. There we go. Perfect. So there we go, before and after. And I'll show you how much I've actually cropped in there. I'm not too precious about cropping in. If it needs cropped in, it needs cropped in. I was under pressure, had to get some decent photographs. Took the wrong lens, took the wrong lens for my Fujifilm. So I'll just make use of all those megapixels. A wee bit clarity maybe. What do you think? Yeah, just a wee bit. Just a little bit. I even think it needs a tone curve. Let's leave that. The other one doesn't need it. I'm sure there's another one here. Again. Right, we'll see how far we can crop in. This is our getting our actual certificate. This is a few steps further on. Right, we'll get the crop right in. The crop right in here. Right, we'll get the guy. Oh, sod it. It's going to look a bit odd with his head at the bottom there chopped in half. We'll have to go try that. Get the flowers. I mean, look at them. Still plenty of detail there. That's not overdone with the crop. Bring the highlights down a little. Look at the detail. Again, bring the general shadows up a little. We'll try the clarity. Right, I'm going to get a brush and I'm going to bring up some shadows, some shadow detail. One of the things with the Leica Q2 Monochrom. Plenty ability to bring up the shadows. We'll get some of the flowers as well. This lady to the left. This gentleman here dishing out the certificates. And the gorgeous daughter here. bit further detail in the foreground there. Right, shadows first, see what it does. Magic. A wee shot of the whites and the blacks. Just a little bit of whites there maybe. Blacks. Yeah, there we go. I think we'll just reduce the highlights again. The guy's face is a bit sparkly. It's better. Can't really see much of Lauren's face because of her hair. Yeah, I think that's fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the guy sitting down in the front row here. His face is a bit bright. Take some of the sheen off our face as well. Just hit them with a bit of highlights. There we go, that's better. And again, a brush round the outside here. Bring in the focus a little bit on the main proceedings. There we go. Shadows. Grain. What do you think? Boom. Too much. Medium grain. That will do for me. Before and after. And I'll show you how much I've cropped in to remind you. Get that. So we'll hit that with a lot more clarity. There we go. Ear mark anymore? Yeah, this one. I'm not overly, I freely admit I'm not overly proficient in portraiture. This is my daughter again after the event with her pal who got graduated at the same time. Both architects. Right, I'm going to bring in the crop again. You can see, the odd time I've done portraits, it's probably the street photographer in me. I don't like posed shots. I like more natural type images, more documentary style, I suppose you would say. Right, we'll see if we can bring up some general shadows. Highlights down a little. Okay, I don't need to do much to this. It's a raw image, remember. Exposure's fine. Shot f.4.5, 500th of a second. 10,000 ISO. Right, I'm going to see if the software picks up people. The two lasses. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Right, we'll just create masks. Shadows up a little. Contrast, I like a bit of contrast, and we'll go down to the. In fact, we'll try a brush. Yeah, sorry, a tone curve. Move that up a little here. Too dark. Yeah, there we go, quite like that. We'll just reduce this one a little. Bring that back a wee bit. There we go, actually quite like that. We need to bring up another brush and get some more shadows back in the clothing. And the hair. This is our pal Casey. And my daughter, gorgeous Lauren. We'll stick a wee bit for the eyes. I'll whisper in here. Can't see much of Casey's eyes. Yeah, just bring up a wee bit of shadow detail there, I think. There we go. A little bit more in here. There's obviously windows over, the window light's coming from the right hand side. See it on Casey's cheekbones there? That's a bit much actually. I'll just undo that last. There we go. Reduce the shadows down to break up a little bit. You can see that here and here. Just remember it's a 10,000 ISO. Maybe try the blacks more. Yeah, that's not bad. And I'm going to reduce the highlights of the background. Just simply another brush. Brush that in. There we go, that's better. Takes your eye away a little bit. Drop the exposure down a little bit behind as well. There we go. Again, a brush for bring your eye in a little bit. Just go right the way around. A vignette of sorts. Just maybe a bit much. Mark a wee bit. There we go. See if we can get a wee bit in the top now. Yeah, there we go. And again, guess what? Medium grain. How does that look? Yeah, love it. This I've reduced the sharpening. There we go, quite like that. Now, like I say, I'm in no way am I a portrait photographer. Something I would quite like to get into. Street portraits. I've not got the confidence to go up to somebody yet and say, can I take your portrait in the street? So before, not a great deal. The raw files are great. And how much have I cropped in? Very little. You could bring that down a wee bit, I suppose. There we go. Hope you've enjoyed that video, folks. It's just a wee brief insight into how I generally edit my photos. Still learning the Leica Files. So I only had it 4 or 5 weeks. What day is it today? Thursday the 13th. I'm going to get this out today or tomorrow, this video. I'm going to go into Edinburgh maybe tomorrow, or I also quite fancy trying some photography on the beach with this camera. So we'll see what the weather's doing tomorrow. There's a weather warning for down south tomorrow, but up here I think it's going to be fine. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's another day. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Give me some tips on editing if you've got any. And we'll catch you in the next one. Remember to like and subscribe. Okay folks, cheers. Bye.